Yeah, no worries. I'm just going to share my screen. If you give us a second, and then just give us a thumbs up if you can see that. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, yeah, I'll share that. Just give us a, there we go. Hopefully you should start being able to see that.
Yeah, I can see
Okay,
it now.
brilliant.
Yeah. Nice one.
Yeah, so as Mike said, Nick said, I'm Kieran Smith. I'm the Digital Programme and Transformation Manager at the Greater Manchester Combined Authority. And we have been working on a very ambitious digital transformation programme across early years services. So working across health settings, so starting midwifery to early years, midwifery to health visiting professionals to early years settings, nursery settings, and then finally to schools in reception age, looking at how we can improve and respond quicker to identified needs by sharing information better, and providing access to that data, transforming paper-based processes using the Mendix platform, and releasing that really critical data so that we could respond in a much more preventative way than we are doing currently. Overarching ambition is to improve school readiness across the region, which differs across each of the 10 localities that we work across, but overall we're not meeting the national average. So just let me move this camera out of the way, sorry. So yeah, so as part of the Greater Manchester strategy, what we've actually looked to do is use digital and as an enabler to improve how we're providing those services. And one of the key strategic products that we have been using in this space is the Mendix platform. One of the key points I just want to draw out on this slide here that we're on at the moment is the part in speech marks at the bottom there saying we will innovate to ensure we make the most of the opportunities to integrate our early years services and workforces, developing digital solutions to integrate information and decision making to provide the right support to families at the right time. And for those people that are interested, the Greater Manchester strategy is it's currently being revised at the moment, but it's got 10 priority high-level areas, and the priority number 1 is children starting school ready to learn. Obviously, recognising that if we get those foundations right, and then we are giving children a much better start, an opportunity to then go into education ready, and then into work ready, and actually being able to live fulfilled and productive lives as well. So that's really the foundations of why we started looking at digital to support this. I've touched on some of this. So the problem really that we have in Greater Manchester is it's a complex landscape. We've got multiple localities. Within one locality, we've got different organisations, different sectors that are actually part of that early years delivery model. So as I said, spans midwifery from pre-birth then up to reception age at just before the child's 5th birthday. And even in one locality, we have a significant number of different systems, different levels of digital and data maturity across the patch. And we look to low code to support developing consistent GM products that we could roll out that don't have the same issues or complexity that point systems have. We can actually easily span sectors as well. So, we've not got a health system and then a social care system and then an education system. We can look at GM products that actually can span those different sectors and also span localities as well. So if a child attends or lives in one locality but actually attends a nursery in another locality, then we can easily share that information using the products that we're developing centrally as well. I've touched on what we're trying to do this for, so information that's shared consistently, and the complexity and methods of data sharing between localities in GM are significant. The last time I came and presented at one of these events, we were just looking at health visiting and looking at that particular cohort of professionals with parents and carers as to target our digital solutions at. But we've since expanded on that, and so I'm going to touch on some of that as I just go through the slides. So we've delivered an application. We believe it's the first application of its kind in the country using the Mendix platform. For those of you that work in children's services, and I know there were a couple on there, I believe I've spoken to you before, the Department of Health and Social Care hasn't procured digital copyright licenses for the predominant assessments, which are used by health visitors to determine development for children. And this is a national assessment, so they're looking at March 2022 to start rolling out a digital solution, which will probably take some time given the challenges and complexity that we've got in Greater Manchester. To try and do that at a national level, I don't envy them at all. So the application is live. So as I said, we've got 10 council areas across Greater Manchester, and we've rolled it out to 2 of those council areas currently. But we're working on rolling that out across other council areas, not just in health, but also in local authorities. We went live on the 7th of September last year. And we've seen growth month on month with the usage of the application from both a parent carer perspective, so we've got it citizen facing, but also from a worker perspective as well in the localities that are live. We have developed the application on Mendix, as I've said. We've got agreements with the BBC and other content providers, like one called Essential Parent, who are based out of Cambridge, to look at creating a really rich product that just doesn't house assessments, but also has appropriate content in there that supports the parent carers in completing assessments as their parent carer led assessments, and just understanding what kind of things to look out for from a developmental perspective when they're actually undertaking these assessments. So the application will send out automated notifications to the parent carer saying, "No, this is an appointment. So the appointment's coming up. It's almost time to complete an assessment on your child. Here's access to the assessment, and here's some useful content that you can use while you're actually undertaking those assessments." We have looked at how we authenticate users into the application. So we have developed something called GM Identity, which not only allows us to tap into local Active Directories for the councils, but also has incorporated NHS login and NHS mail so that we can authenticate citizens of Greater Manchester using NHS login for the citizen-facing elements of the app. And we've also got NHS mail to authenticate health workers within the application as well. We're looking to roll out to local authorities, which as I said, we're tied into local Active Directories, or in the process of tying into local Active Directories. But we're also looking at how we strengthen the authentication solution that we've got by looking at different identity providers, and also really interested in looking at the national identity solutions that the government are talking about as well, seeing how we can strengthen what we're doing in Greater Manchester with that. So the application is live at the moment, and for the next, what we're trying to do next with the application is actually look at how we can integrate that application into national data sources and see how we can take feeds from the NHS spine and also push information out of the applications into local existing systems, so health visitor systems and also local authority systems as well. Just before I go on to that, I've just put this slide in recently, so I forgot that this one was there. So this is around the number of completed assessments on the application itself, and also the number of parent carers accessing it. And you can see there from January to May 2021, the number of completed assessments has grown significantly. And for those of you, again, that work in children's services and are aware of the ASQ, we haven't removed any paper assessments from the localities that have gone live with the app. This has just been natural growth based on the usability of the product and embedding the product within the localities that are live. So really reassuring and really clear benefits that we are achieving from an efficiency perspective by using the Mendix platform to develop the early years application. This is a rather busy slide, but really I'm just going to talk through some key points of this. So we've talked about the early years application itself, and with the assessments digitising there, which we can see at number 2 on the diagram here. We're rolling this out to local authorities, which I've also said, and that really provides us with a really exciting opportunity to share information cross-sector And also potentially cross-locality, where a child actually lives in one locality, e.g. Bolton, for example, and actually attends a nursery setting in another locality, say, let's say Salford, because that's closer to where the parent actually works. So what this provides us with is one application that's got different role-based access on it, and it's secure and locks down information based on the role of the individual accessing that. But what it provides us with is a bi-directional with a system that can facilitate bi-directional information sharing around assessments and needs between the health sector and local authorities in an automated way. So this is around the outcomes and support needs identified through those assessments that are undertaken. And actually across health and local authorities, they are the same assessments that are being completed, but until now, the information hasn't been readily available to the professionals. So support needs are being missed. Sorry, I just jumped the gun there. Support needs are being missed. Interventions, efforts are being duplicated across the localities. And what we're hoping to achieve with this, what we believe we'll achieve with this, is actually a solution that is a first exciting step in sharing information better across the early years model, and allows us to identify those needs at a much earlier opportunity. We are live with the health visitor side of that, which is said in Bury and Rochdale, but we're actually rolling this out over the next couple of months in 3 local authorities across Greater Manchester as well. We have integrated the app into, or in the process of integrating the app into what's called the National Event Management Service, and that allows us to take an automated feed of data from the NHS and create childbirths, child deaths, child's movements into Greater Manchester for those localities using the applications in an automated way within the application itself. So we're not relying on manual entry. We are getting that feed in an automated way and really reducing the impact and ask on localities that are already stretched at the moment, and not having to do that multiple or manual data entry across different systems. In addition to that, we're also integrating the Early Years app into local systems as well. So this is this point here, and hopefully you can see my cursor. One of the key requirements that we have from localities is to support their interoperability ambitions and agendas within the different localities. So anything that we've got needs to be able to integrate. And we're working with the big system suppliers across those localities to understand how we integrate the application that we've developed into those systems to be able to push data around the scores of the assessments that have been completed into those solutions, because those solutions are the primary records for those children and their health data. So they've got all that data in their key systems where they can actually do all their reporting from, and also taking appointments out of those systems and presenting them back to the parent carers so they understand when appointments are scheduled and can arrange for those and are prepared for those. So from an integration perspective, that's what we're working on across Greater Manchester. It's very ambitious, but we have made significant progress on this, and a lot of things are coming to fruition over the next month or 6 weeks, which is really exciting, because we've been working on this for a number of years. We're using Mendix for early years, but we're also looking at other use cases, and we've got use cases around victims of crime, where we're looking at how we support victims of crime going through the criminal justice system, and potentially using Mendix to present that user interface back to those users of the system. And there are a whole host of other digital transformation use cases that are in the pipeline at the moment that we're just working through, where we see that we can use Mendix and low-code to support the GM-wide transformation. One of the exciting things that we're looking at, and again, this is probably known to our colleagues from Children's Services on the call, is the Red Book, and looking at how we can actually digitize the Red Book as well, using what we've already developed for the early years application. So the Red Book currently is a paper Red Book. I know there's been a few pilot areas across the UK that have looked to digitise that. But what we're proposing is that we build on what we've done with the earliest application and incorporate that Red Book into the actual application itself, creating a one-stop shop for parent carers across Greater Manchester. And in addition to that as well, we're bridging the gaps that we've still got within the early years delivery model, so i.e. midwifery on the left-hand side and then education on the right-hand side as well. So a lot going on across Greater Manchester, even in the early years space. And what we, as I said, we have adopted Mendix as the strategic solution for supporting us with this. And that's it. Oh, just a few benefits from there as well. So if I'm taking too much time, Nick just tell me to shut up. So the benefits, just a few key benefits here. So low code supports us with GM programs and projects. We can create consistent solutions across the locality boundaries, rapidly develop those, and that enables us to work in a very agile way. We can fail quickly, we can build, we can take on additional requirements and changes, and make sure that we're developing solutions that are able to meet the emerging needs of the localities and organisations across Greater Manchester. And we've realised from digitising just the paper assessments within the health visiting side, that we can realise a 30% increase in efficiency, and that's based on a solution that isn't integrated. So once we integrate those solutions, the benefits increase, increase significantly. We found that the cost to actually send out paper assessments, as well as cheaper, is more expensive, than actually adopting digital solutions, and that's even taking things into account like the licenses for local cloud hosting solutions and the authentication solutions that we've got as well. So as a system, it's cheaper to be able to do digital than paper. Although we found that anecdotally the ASQs are being posted out recorded delivery, which obviously has a high overhead on that as well. I'm not sure if that's national or just at a GM level. And fundamentally for us, we have a digital solution that, as we grow this, puts the parent or carer in control of the data around them and their child, so they have access to that data, they can use that data and really empowered with that digital solution as well. I think that's it. Yeah, just a pipeline overview there. Just to say, we've got a lot more in the pipeline around this, and we are looking to Mendix to support us with some of the additional use cases that are emerging as well. Okay, that's it from me. Nick, you're on mute.
Yeah, I think my wife wishes I was on mute constantly, to be honest. Yeah, I'll never quite get the grasp of that. Yeah, Nigel, Nigel, Lomas, do you want to sort of put your camera and your mic on? And just talk about, because obviously you're the implementation partner. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, so, from your perspective, what has been the benefits in sort of, using a low-code platform for this project or this program? Because I guess it's it's an ongoing evolution. What's the benefits of using low-code, and in particular, I guess, the Mendix platform, as opposed to any other sort of, coding program? What are the benefits?
Yeah, that's a good question, Nick, because we're a technology agnostic company, so we do traditional development and low-code development, amongst others. And the key benefit for GMCA was the speed that we could deliver, because there was a program that they wanted to get up and running quickly, and the system platform. And these were figures that Kieran, I think, will confirm, but it was 10 times quicker than traditional development would have been. And that wasn't worked out by us. We verified it after, but that was actually worked out by GMCA with their experience of other development projects.
Right. And so, because I guess, so how easy will it be, I guess, for an organisation? Because at the moment you're the implementation partner. So yeah. GMCA obviously is an amalgamation of is it 12 authorities now? 10 authorities in the Northwest coming together. So you've got an organisation, but you don't have any development capability at the moment, do you? So that's why you got Objectivity in. But how easy is it then for GMCA to, I guess, take that development capability or create that capability in-house?
Yeah, longer term GMCA can do that. I think some of the other benefits we brought as an organisation was our experience in local authorities and healthcare.
Right.
We have a lot of integration with other systems like NHS logins and so forth, which obviously comes under a lot of security and scrutiny around data governance. So we brought that experience that GMCA didn't really have. And we have developed in other technologies around it as well. As low code hasn't done everything; it's done a large proportion of it.
Right.
Yeah, we've brought other things to the table for them.
Excellent. And early years, is that the full extent of the use of the low code platform at GMCA, Kieran, or are there other projects taking place in sort of in development or?
So it's definitely not the extent. I mean, I think just recognizing how significant that is as a program in itself, with the the level of development that's needed there. Mendix and Objectivity has been used to look at community midwifery, where they've looked at smoking cessation projects, and that's been rolled out across Greater Manchester. And for me, it's a great way of, as I said, creating consistent GM-wide digital solutions that can be developed and redeveloped at speed, based on those GM objectives. So there's 36 different use cases in the pipeline. We've got a wide suite of digital capabilities, but as I said, Mendix is one of the key user interfacing solutions that we have. We are just looking at moving some business cases through where we see Mendix having a part to play in that, but we just need to take them through these governance processes first before we obviously can discuss them further.
Excellent. Go on, sorry, Nigel.
Just to add to that, with the smoking cessation project, which was for Health Innovation Manchester, that has been very successful, as to stop pregnant mothers smoking during and post pregnancy. But that now is jointly, we are actually reselling that solution across the country, and that is another benefit of the Mendix model, is that we can easily do that. And also we've been working with some of the other Manchester hospitals on individual cases, again using the Mendix platform for speed and agility.
And just quickly, before I ask Yewande to put her camera and mic on, are you able then to, so I guess who owns the IP? Are you able then to take the work done, with Greater Manchester Combined Authority, like you said, you work with some hospital trusts, are you able then to sort of use because I mean, I guess low code platforms are a bit like a smart empty box, aren't they? And then you develop things, and then you putting stuff into that box, but then potentially you can use them in other instances. So are you able to do that?
Yeah, the arrangement we have with Health Innovation Manchester is we've got a share of the IP. Right. So it's something other councils could easily do as well. Right. Develop something jointly with us, and then you can use our experience in terms of marketing and reselling the solutions, and also then providing support for it. Right,
brilliant. Okay, that was Yewande. You've got your hand up. Excellent.
Yeah, hi. This question is for Kieran. Just along the way, in terms of using the platform, did you have to, modifications you had to make along the way to try and maybe increase conversion rates to the platform? And also when you said, I think maybe it's a 30% increased efficiency savings, where did this sort of, in terms of where would you say the most efficiencies came from through use of the platform?
So I'll just take the second point and then just go back to the first one. So yeah. They were really simple efficiency savings, such as things like being able to not have to return to the office again because you're actually using digital solutions to people's homes, being able to make secondary referrals to secondary health services, because in the past they would go back to the office and then do those referrals there. And also just, you may be aware or not that the ASQs are all nationally paper-based at the moment. So being able to do those in a digital capacity and do what you need to do with them, and then funny follow-up activities as well. It was just simple things like that. Not having to print off ASQs again, from saving them time in preparing for visits. And we've got some findings in the report on that, which I'm sure we can share with you as well, Yewande. If you just repeat the first question for me, sorry.
Oh yeah, then the first one is primarily in terms of whether you had to make any modifications to the platform to try and maybe increase increase completion. So I guess you send parents out the ASQs and different things, but just because somebody maybe, you know, receives something or says they will do it doesn't necessarily mean that they will, you know, that they will complete it and submit. So whether there are any kind of things you put in place to ensure that happens, and whether that made a difference in terms of like increasing numbers over time.
I mean, I would say we're still on a journey with the change management aspect of it. I think the numbers are increasing naturally by health visitors and other professionals getting more comfortable with the digital solutions. We have had challenges on authenticating. So with NHS login, for example, some of the parent carers potentially being excluded from that because they don't have the right identifications, or the processes are quite complex to go through to be able to authenticate. But we're working with NHS Digital on reducing that the necessary level of authentication there. I think there's still more we can do, and we have put that responsibility and onus back on the council areas as autonomous organisations to do that change management at a local level, rather than the GMCA, who's one stage further away actually trying to do that change management. But we've supported with things like no, we haven't removed the paper assessment, so they're already there, so they're always there. Sorry, so we're not digitally excluding anybody from that perspective, because those people that may you know, have a disability or accessibility issue where the application can't support that, there's always the ability to get the digital and the paper assessment, and then the health visitor can add that into the application. So we've got fallback positions on that. But I would say that we've still got some work to do on that. But as you can see from the numbers, they're increasing month on month with using the usage of the app there.
Okay, thank you.
Brilliant, thanks you, Andy. Anybody else got any questions for Kieran or for Nigel? I guess I've got one. Well, if there are any, I'll wait for hands to go up, Kieran. But I don't know if I've asked this before. But why did GMCA go down the low code route?
Well,
was there a particular reason?
Well, the GMCA, Greater Manchester's got so many, such a large number of existing systems, such massive systems as well. So the number of social care systems and health systems, even health systems in one acute trust are significant. And we recognise that we need to be developing products that fit at a GM level, irrespective of what solutions already exist across the localities, and can supplement what people already have and create that consistency. And also with the use cases and projects programs that we're working on, actually the solutions span the sector, so there isn't one system that actually bridges health and then goes into local authorities and then goes into schools. Finally, we can develop those products that can span those sectors using low code easily and respond to that wide breadth of requirements that we're collating as we work across those different sectors. So that was really it for us. It was the speed and it was the pace at which we could develop. It was like it supported us with our agile journey and being able to get things out there and start to receiving benefits as quickly as possible. And it really was that GM nature of the work as well, that we need to span not only council areas, which obviously the systems within that locality are limited to, but also different sectors within localities as well. And low code gave us a responsive solution to be able to manage that critical requirement.
Brilliant, thank you. So we've got Sarah. You were the first to put your camera on. So do you want to ask your question?
Sure. I don't think I was the first to put my hand out there. I was just going to ask, what's the kind of future support model? So if it was developed not in-house within the local authorities, how will it be supported going forwards?
That's a good question. So I think I've worked, really great work in relationship with Objectivity. We realised that we were a relatively new organisation, didn't have that development infrastructure to be able to respond to the requirements that we had, and which is why we've engaged Objectivity. We do recognise that having that in-house capability and capacity will enable us to respond quicker and probably cheaper in future. We just need to make sure it's the right time for us. And that we've got those skills in-house to be able to take that on. So I think I'd probably leave that one there, if that's okay at that point, Sarah.
All right, thanks, sir. Then Phil, and then Gregor.
Yeah, thank you. I think possibly Nigel, both of these are for Nigel, but I'm interested to understand a bit more about the approach to integrations of the different healthcare systems. I would imagine that was quite significant. I wondered how you tackled that.
Yeah, it was. You know, Mendix has got some great APIs and integration parts to it, but the NHS systems aren't as flexible. So we had to do quite a bit of tricky work, really. That was primarily around things like data governance and you know, integration with the NHS systems.
Okay, so from a platform perspective, it's all within Mendix.
Maybe I could pick up on that one, Nigel. We have, in addition to Mendix, we've created what's called a digital platform, Greater Manchester Digital Platform as well, which is the best of breed digital platform that includes things like integration engines, API managers, or EMPIs to be able to identify different individuals across different systems. So there's this full suite of back-end architecture that supports that as well, and we take those components out as and when a use case emerges, and just get that technical design to support the use case. So it's in addition to the where we are trying to achieve NHS integration, it's using additional components as well to support that.
Okay, thanks. And one other question, if I may, Nick.
Yeah, go for it.
I was just interested to know what the delivery team looked like, size of it, and maybe the shape of it, in terms of devs, analysts, etc.
Yeah, I mean, the delivery team's made up obviously a project manager, business analysts, technical architects, and then the coders. You know, that's been flexed, I suppose, over the time of all the different developments. You know, we've got a team of sort of 600 people who can come into projects, lead projects, and so forth. So we've primarily tried to keep the same team together for GMCA, and that's worked pretty well.
So roughly how many people do you reckon working on this project then, on and off?
Probably about 5.
Wow.
Development. Kieran, do you think?
Yeah, I would say that we have a very small team internally. So we have a lead enterprise architect, we have digital project managers, business analysts working on it. But then we have probably the same again from the Objectivity side, where we have a tribe master and the architects over there and business analysts. So I'd say probably collectively between 10 and 12 people working on it.
Brilliant. Is that right, Phil?
Thank you very much. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Excellent. And finally, Gregor.
Yeah, my question's for Kieran. I'm wondering if in the future you're going to have some kind of greater insight on the overall benefit that it's had for children. I suppose it has to be over some time to know kind of what the impact has been on using the application. Is that something that you might be able to see in a few years' time?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, the overarching ambition is to improve school readiness, but I think that's just really a lofty tip of the iceberg, really. So, you know, we've got a lot of benefits that we're hoping to achieve through this, but it does obviously need time to embed. And we're looking at preventative services by sharing data better using digital solutions, that we need time to capture that. But it's definitely something that we would expect to be seeing contributed to by what we've done with the digital enabling capabilities that we've developed as part of early years.
Thank you very much. Brilliant, Kieran. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I will give Kieran a round of applause. If you know how to use your function, to give him a virtual round of applause, or even a real one. Thank you very much, Kieran.
Thank you.
Yeah, in this day and age, you don't sort of virtual events, you don't tend to get applauses. So yeah, always good to. There we go. Thing is, there's no thumbs down on these things. So
It's good to hear. Yep.
No, great as always. Thanks, Kieran.
No, it's
yeah. Where will you be watching the football tonight? At home?
Yeah, at home. Yeah, I'm isolation and quarantine, unfortunately, for the next 7 days. The applications told me I can't leave the house, so I'll be watching.
All right. Okay. Well, you know, That's it. Well, do as I say, not as I do, I think is the phrase of the week after Mr. Hancock getting caught out. So yeah, but yes, quite right. Stay in and enjoy the 10-9 thrashing of Germany from the comfort of your own sofa. Great to see you. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Sorry, just to say, if anyone's got any additional questions, especially thinking about the children's services or colleagues that work in public sector organisations, just reach out, and I'm happy to share contact details of anything anybody wants any further information on what we're doing across GM.
Brilliant. Yeah, will do. Thanks, Kieran. Yeah, always great to have sort of involvement and input